Hey, how y'all doing today? Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the Zolian Podcast where we talk about books. Oh, no, not anymore. Almost had me. I almost messed up. I almost said books, brains, and blockchains. That's so funny how that happens. It's like ingrained in me, I just want to say it. Because it rolls off the tongue, and it's kind of what we kind of began talking about this whole time. I was always talking about the future, and I was always talking about, and I'm still hopeful for the future. I'm still hopeful for the future. I'm still very looking forward to a lot of things in the future. Oh man, Raymond in the chat. What's up, Raymond? Hold on one second. Let me get the chat cover out of the way. I always forget this thing is here, and every time I forget that it's set to be automatically back up every time I close the window. Let me go ahead and there we go. And I got the format that I wanted finally. The way the window should be looking. Finally got that out of the way. I got a lot of stuff on my table and my backlog I had to get done, and that was one of the few things that I recognized on the list, and I was like, oh yeah, that's been sitting there for a while. So I took care of that. I took care of a lot of things while I was away, man. I used to do streams every day almost. I mean, pretty much every day it was like a new stream, and I eased up on that. I eased up on it for a couple of reasons. One was because I was still trying to find my voice, trying to figure out what that combination where, let me show you, at some point I got to show you on the whatchamacallit chart, the Venn diagram of interest, what you care about, what you care about, what people can want to hear about, and what the algo likes, that Venn diagram. You know what I'm talking about. There's that Venn diagram of like what you like, what they like, what the algo likes, that combo. And then in between somewhere is what you're supposed to be talking about. Inside that triangle, I probably shouldn't do a triangle on stream. Now someone's going to clip that and go, yep, he's one of them. Oh, man. But yeah, we used to talk about books, brains, and blockchains. And in a way, I still talk about technology. It was about the tech. It was really about what the future holds for technology. I thought, keep an open mind on the future. For a while, we talked about UFOs. I still like UFOs. I still like talking about it. But really, it was just to get the show into a more radio format, a more radio show format, a more live stream kind of format. And I think I'm still thinking about going to do like more live streams in the future. The thing is, I'm always more about kind of growing and trying to figure out where I want to go from there. Whoa, we got Story Mark in the house. What is up, bro? Hey, this is crazy. Was not expecting this. Some great advice I heard recently is the fact that the algorithm is ultimately just shaped by people. Made perfect sense. Yeah, I agree. That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, listening while working, keep at it. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. I was thinking, I think a lot, guys. It's a very dangerous place. I was on the road, and when I'm on the road, I think a lot. I have like a notebook. Where I have two notebooks when I travel. Okay, one is for the story ideas and notes for my book or future books. I always put a bunch of stuff in the notebook that's for just that. I don't put it anywhere else. I don't want to like lose it, right? That's kind of the important thing, is to keep all your ideas in one physical location as far as you're brainstorming, right? So because sometimes you have an idea and you build on it later on just by looking at it. You go, oh yeah, that's that storyline I never touched. I have an ending for that, and then finally, before you know it, you actually have a plot, and before you know it, after that, you have an outline, and then after that, you actually have a synopsis you can build off of. That's how I write. You have a lot of incomplete ideas, and then you just piece them together, the ideas that really are A, entertaining, and B, it's entertaining to read, but also it's fun to write. I think that's the most important part, because if you're not having fun writing the thing, the reader's gonna know. People are gonna know. People can tell when you just doing it for the money, which is the biggest. That's for me why I don't do things for the money, right? That's a big reason why, because at that point I may as well just work a job that and I went down that path, okay, where you work a job, you do it just for the money. And let me tell you something, I'm not saying it's going to be the same for you. Everyone's different, okay? You could be the guy who said, I do it for the money and I don't care and I'm okay with that, and it works for you. Those people exist. Their problems are in other areas, right? They have other issues going on. That's no problem for people like us. Everyone has their it's like a game of D&D. Everyone's points are somewhere. They allocate it somewhere. Maybe you have more patience, and then like elsewhere you have, I don't know, anxiety. Maybe you have more. You're more bold and more brave in some areas, and in other areas it's hard for you to read the room. You can't read the room. You know what I mean? Like there's pluses and minuses everywhere. Something that my old man told me a long time ago was, when God closes the door, he opens the ceiling. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't just close the door and then that's it. There's a ceiling there. Something's going on. Whatever motivates you. Story Mark says it's all a matter of one's desires based on the science of motivation. Yep, exactly, 100%. People can kind of feel it. You know what I mean? They can feel when you're enthusiastic about something or if something's wrong with you. For example, when I watch a Matt Colville video, every episode I'm like, yeah, this guy's in it. He's into it. I can feel the energy. It's like a recharge. You get recharged. I'm like, oh yeah, whenever I'm feeling like I can't, I'm kind of I'm out of juice, I'll hit a playlist or something on his channel or someone else's channel. And then I kind of discovered something about myself actually on the road. Let me get into that. So on the road, I had an epiphany, and it was something that was in the back of my mind, and I couldn't quite come to terms with it. And I just, it was like a existential crisis. And really it started when I caught Katana, aka, the code word for should I even say it? The code word for the sickness, you know what I mean? So when I caught that, I had a lot of reflection, right? Life is short, and it wasn't necessarily a like epiphany at that time, but really it was more like the seeds of certain things kicking in, because I was thinking of the videos and I was thinking of other things, and I was thinking like where's the time gonna go? I need to do things. I need stuff to do. Hopefully I don't I don't lose, because I was losing track of everything. Time was slipping by. I was laying down. All my time was going away. Laying down, and I was mad at myself. I was like, man, I'm really wasting my life here. I'm in bed. I could be, getting, another page written. No, I'm not getting anything done. I couldn't even get up. I felt a lot of regret about the time I had already spent that could have been spent doing the book more, right? And so, I'm just trying to game the system and all that stuff, and it just really boiled down to what's important to me, right? What's important to me kind of was an element that was sitting from January until today, really. And the epiphany I came to on the road during this vacation I was visiting family, was that, I don't want to waste my life in an office. And I talked about this 2 years ago when I said, when this is the Ruggathon, and that was a time where it was the best time to quit your job. At that time in 2020, was that 2020, end of 2020 towards 2021, that was like the best time if you were gonna maneuver into a new job, into a new position, into a new space. That was the best time, because employers were desperate. They were absolutely like, we'll take you and train you and whatever, please come in. If you were saying I will, this magic words were, I'll come in, you got the job. I various people, various friends I had helped them get a job, just basically helping them leverage the ability of coming in. People who didn't have the skills for the job, and they learned on the job the skills, right? And these are office jobs. These are not like full-on tech jobs or anything like that. I'm not a tech guy, right? I'm not like a coder, and you guys know that. I always tell you that. But I know how office psychology works. That's why I did those videos, because a lot of people, they're having a hard time navigating. It's funny because people in real life tell me all the time they have a hard time navigating the office space, and that's why I talk about it all the time. That's why I did the Office series. These personalities are people, right? They are people I encountered. I mean, I don't mean like the exact, character, but these caricatures are like, they're like the extreme version of the person, right? So you can see the differences between each people, where in reality, you're going to have like some sort of, mix of the 2 or 3 of these people in one person, right? You'll have somebody who is on one hand, in some cases, they could be a mercenary, have a very, very mercenary mindset. And on the other hand, they could end up being, they could be a dark clown, right? In another setting, right? It just depends on the condition, the situation, right? Maybe in this kind of project, they care about it, so they're going to be a mercenary and take care of the job. But maybe in a lesser position, they don't take it seriously, and then at the end of the day, they're gonna take credit for all the work. That's very dark clown behavior. But the point is, last year during the whole Ruggathon, that was the beginning of me, kind of understanding, I don't want to be here in like 5 years. That's not where I see myself, right? I want to be on the road. I want to be in different states. I want to write. I want to put stuff out. I want to make money doing that. I want to make money doing this. I want to talk to you guys, and I just want to build and grow and grow and grow. And I think that's kind of my ultimate goal. I think that's my ultimate goal. And I realize I don't like to do It's ironic because on one hand, I don't like to talk about drama, right? This whole drama stuff that's going on. But at the same time, it is important because we have to understand, where the market is. Where is the market, right? You have to, again, like I said, find the triangle. I hate to do that symbol, but you know what I mean. Find the triangle. What's important to you, right? And then what people like, and then like I guess the algorithm, the marketplace, what's available, right? Drama does, Pac says it right. Drama does drive the clicks. I agree with you. I talk about the things that are relevant. Again, this is all about the positioning, right? The circumstances, right? The circumstances is this is a marketplace where I would say the classic stuff, right, is in demand. We are in a weird bubble where, and I'm going to call it a bubble because it may not last forever. At that point, you have to build something, right? At that point, you have to build out and create that demand, whatever the demand is afterwards, right? You have to create that. And that's kind of my goal, is to create a space here of my name, right? Where my books at that point, by name only, you guys see it and you guys know it's going to be good. That's my responsibility, to create content that you see my name, you know it's going to be good. You know it's going to be worthwhile. But in the meantime, you want to create something that you want to create, that people want to consume, that is in demand, right? And that's the thing, creating stuff that you like to read, creating stuff that you enjoy, that reminds you of back in the day, back in the past, the stories you grew up on that gave you the passion in the first place for the stuff that you like. And I think that's the big thing that for me started this journey, and I lost track of that. So I realized I didn't want to talk about the future, if that makes sense. I actually like to talk about the past. It took me a while to figure that out. I know that's so obvious to some people, but to me it wasn't. Let me write this down. Just write down in big words, the past. I wanted to talk about the past, this whole the stories that I grew up on. I grew up on Dragonlance. I grew up on, for example, Wolverine comics. Wolverine, where he just became Weapon X, and they kind of gave you the backstory of Weapon X, where drawn by I forgot his name. Is it Wilson or Windsor? Oh man, I can't remember his full name. That's gonna drive me nuts. I have the book like literally on the shelf over there. But that's gonna drive me nuts. But the Weapon X program, it's funny. The first action figure I ever had as a kid was the Weapon X Wolverine, and he looked so cool with the headset, and just completely dehumanized by the government, completely used and abused, and at the same time, it was just this uncanny valley. You had this uncanny valley of looking at this person who used to be a man, but now is a weapon, a mindless killing machine. And in some ways, there's of course the cool factor of, oh my God, look at these gadgets and gizmos, and this guy rocks. There's that aspect to it. But there's like that. That's like the aesthetics of like the war aesthetics, right? You see the same thing with like Cyberpunk, RoboCop, things of that nature, during that time where everything was like gadgets and gizmos, shoulder pads that were above the head, so ridiculous, cable comics, stuff like that. And so, you would see stuff like that. You would see, that kind of, that aspect to it. But then on the other aspect of it was this really dark reality of, man, the future's really kind of effed, isn't it? Because if this is the future of technology, I don't know if I want to be a part of it. And that was like one of the big takeaways from X-Men. People think it's about being woke or whatever. It really was an anti-war propaganda. Let me get that out of the way there. It really was a anti-war propaganda. It was like an anti. It was anti against the war propaganda that was out there. It was like a warning of like, hey, if we're in an arms race with other countries creating these like weapons of out of people, right? As science advances, eventually, we're gonna blur the line between man and machine, and if we get to that point, then what is human, right? What are the limits morality wise of what we're doing? Just because we can, should we? That was a big question that X-Men had. And I think that was one of those things that kind of like woke up something in me. In a weird way, I say woke up, even though it's not about being woke. It's about being just at least understanding, that war isn't, war itself is run by the big wigs, people who just don't care about people. I think it was like one of those things you just had to it's a nuance. And on one hand, it's really freaking cool to see this. But on the other hand, it was like this weird, I don't like this future that we're in, right? And so when you start to see where we are now, you kind of have that almost primordial reminder of what happened, what you saw in those books, right? And that's how you write a story, in my opinion. You tell the story, you put the message in the story, and you weave it in the story. So then at the end, it's up to the reader to interpret what that means. They never told you war is bad. They never told you you're bad for liking war. What they did was they told you a fascinating story about a man who struggled through the hardship and pain of being this machine and who he was, and lamenting the memories that he lost, right? And trying to put together the pieces of this puzzle, right? And it was fascinating to me. I just found that to be very engaging and very visceral. Story Mark says, actually, there's a series that explores this big time with how humans with powers can be treated as weapons. It's called Darker Than Black. I love Darker Than Black. I love it, dude. Oh my God, you reminded me of a show that I freaking love. I've watched the first season. The second season was kind of out there, but I liked it. And then that in between, was it the OAV where they connected the two? That was weird too, but I liked it too. I love that series, dude. I did rewatch it. I haven't watched that show in a long time. Oh my God. What's another anime I recommend? That's kind of it's kind of hokey in that Korean kind of, drama, Japanese kind of melodrama kind of thing. It is a little hokey. I still like it. It's kind of good. It's Scried. Scried is kind of got that discrimination thing. It's woven in the story. It tells a story. You don't have to do this woke stuff where you're forcing it down people's throat. Just tell the story. If you tell a good story, everybody will, at least try it out, and most people will enjoy it, right? You're going to at least people get, to understand what you're putting down on paper. I think that's the element, the elegance behind it. Why is it still up? I have the donation thing while I'm talking. That's so funny. I can't internet today. There we go. We're gonna talk about Susan in a minute. Gasp. Focus on the story and interweave the message into the fabric of something that compels the reader instead of making a trans Batman character with the baseball bat. What else, guys? I forgot they did that. Oh man, I didn't even know they did that until someone sent it to me. Literally sent the book in the mail to me. I was like, and that's when I shut down my book, my mailbox. I had a company mailbox. Yeah, Story Mike said, what? Yeah, it's yeah, that happened. That was pretty recent. That was kind of unfortunate. I mean, again, I had to a long time ago. When was it? When did I walk away from the mainstream comic books? When did I do that? They had to be around 2017 or 18. I think it was in 2018. I think I gave myself 2018 the break, because I know 2017 is when The Last Jedi hit, and I walked away, cut off Star Wars, and I kind of mourned Star Wars for 6 months. Not mourned it I went to a funeral and was like, oh my God, or crying about it, but I thought about it. I was driving home, thinking about, man, that was the most silent ride me and my brother ever had. We went together. We always go to see the Star Wars movies together. Up until that point, we always saw those movies together. And he just had a moment and just was and he's never silent on the ride home. We talk about the movie or whatever. We were silent. We were just dead silent. He just finally he broke. He said, that wasn't very good, was it? I was like, I didn't like it one bit. And then it escalated to I hated it. I hated it. Oh man. The story Pac says Star Wars makes me sad too. It's okay. Yeah, bro. I was definitely I'll send I'm gonna post in the whatchamacallit in the description the Star Wars video I did where I talked about it. I think that was episode 51 or something. I can't remember. But yeah, that's kind of started my writing journey really, where I was like, all right, let me be serious about writing and start. Story Mark says the greatest irony is I'm actually not against including woke things in stories. I'm not either. Like if you want to tell, like again, nothing's off the table. When you write, do what works for you. Figure out. I say, have the goal, whatever the goal is. I don't care what the statement is. Whatever the goal is, right? Then you do the story, right? You do the story, you tell the story, whatever the story is, and then you find a way, a really cohesive, organic way to write the story, and then the message is actually in the story, woven in, just like you said. As long as it's woven in, and it's a very good story, and people enjoy the story for what it is, it's up to the person to interpret what it means, right? It's up to them. If they get it, great. If they didn't get it and they have their own interpretation of what it is, that's fascinating too. I think that's the beauty of art, right? That is what art is about, is interpreting things in your way and figuring out what the story means to you. What was that one book? I can't remember. It's the Blood Meridian. It's a Western by Cormac McCarthy, the same guy who makes he wrote No Country for Old Men. In No Country for Old Men, people watched the film and they had their own the film was pretty straightforward of what happened. But if you read Blood Meridian, I don't think you could do that in film format, in my opinion. Just because Blood Meridian is a Western with a lot of interpretation about the ending, what happens. It's a lot of symbolism and everything. And every person I ever run into has always had a different description of what happened, like their own interpretation. So that's fascinating to me. Story Mark says, I've done it myself. I just don't do it to chase clout. Yeah, that's the big one. I feel it should be organic. And I think that's the biggest problem with these it's such a mega corporate problem where they post something and they're like, this is what it's about. And it's like, they use it to like as a sales pitch, and it's like the worst sales pitch ever. The Last Jedi drives me so crazy to this day. The Mandalorian reminded me why I like Star Wars. I gotta watch Mandalorian. Everybody tells me it's good. Story Mark also says The Last Jedi. Oh yeah, I read that part. Yep. Pac says they just don't have a good message to weave in there. Yeah, that's true. Raymond says, yes, the death of the author it's a fascinating concept to me. I need to read that again. I haven't read that in a while. Death of the author. Story Mark says, agreed entirely. I dislike when people try to use the existence to force people to like something, even if I agree with the concept. It's so weird. It's like even if you agree, and there's books where they'll be like talking about stuff. I forgot what the book was. My memories. I'm getting old. Don't get old, guys. My memory is disappearing. There's a book I read a couple of years ago, and they had a message that I agreed with. It was about freedom, just like being able to do your own thing and not worry about the government. But it was told in like the worst possible way. Can you imagine? Oh man, what was it? Was it a Stephen King book? I'm gonna have to take notes now from now on when I read, like I did in high school. When you used to read and you would have notes, I'm gonna have to start doing that. Then I'll remember. Oh yeah, it was about this thing. What else? Story Mark says, I rather like it because I like it. Yep, I agree. Use the existence of certain elements in a story. The sales pitch is the worst. There's just no, like, it's almost like mega corporate, and this is a theory I have. I don't really have like proof of this. I think mega corporations are kind of, as they are aging out, the people who used to be running the companies, as they aged out, I think we're like 3 people removed from mega corps who could sell a product, who knew the audience, right? And these are the people who inherited the position or inherited the fortune, inherited the company. running the show, and they don't know what the heck they're doing. Like, I give you an example. Like, if you look at the old Coca-Cola people, I mean, if you look at their ad revenue, if you look at their ad reads, they knew how to sell. They knew how to like speak to the people. Like, you gotta figure out the culture you're talking to, and then sell the pitch, right? Make a product that the culture will like, and then sell it, right? Figure out what they like about it, and then rebrand it again. And that's really what marketing is, adjusting to the market itself. That's the whole point of marketing. You're marketing, right? You're with the market, figuring out. If the market is a river, you're a boat. Be the boat. Just sail, sail with the wind. You can't go against the river. The river is not like your button pusher. You can't just push something and then the river goes up like an escalator. It's not how that works. You got to go downstream. That's how it works. Raymond says, well, plus there's that money guy that's literally paying corporations to be. Yeah, that's I'm telling you that I hate that so much. You know what that is? That ESG thing is the same. It's a Ponzi. It's like crypto, but like with extra steps. I'm gonna say it. It's crypto, but with extra steps. It literally is illegalized, and I don't know why it's legal except for tax evasion purposes. Allegedly tax avoidance. Allegedly, let me just say that. Not get sued. I didn't speak about a specific company, but I feel like someone will sue me. Yeah, my story mark says, I see how what you mean by inheritance. Like in ancient kingdoms, good kings were the ones who knew how to gain power. I agree. Yeah, that's definitely back in the day. Yeah, when they're just power housing the marketplace, I hate that. Because also that's being in denial, because now you're just artificially inflating it, right? You're artificially inflating these companies, and the poor people working for them, they're getting rug pulled, because when the money stops flowing, guess who gets rugged? All the people they hired, all the diversity people they hired, all the the young people, the volunteers, the interns. I say volunteers because they're not paying them much. The volunteers, the interns that they're hiring, allegedly, the whatchamacallit, I forgot what they're called, the artistic groups, right? The people who are doing the art stuff, the digital arts, those people get removed right away. And then the marketing people, it's like in that order. It's like the people who do creative works get removed, but only after they've removed like the diversity hires. And this is mega corporations, the evil side of mega corporations, the more evil side of mega corporations. They have two faces, the evil and the more evil, because it's all fake. It's all fake. This is how I just know one day I'm gonna wake up one morning and there's gonna be like a ninja. If I don't do another show, then the ninjas got me. Okay, the ninjas got me. They're gonna be like, hey, sir. Sir, you have violated code ethics of rule 37.25-45-3. Yeah, you talking smack on the internet about us. You gone. Oh my God. And by the way, I love life. I just want to let y'all know that I would never do myself in, if you know what I mean, okay? I do love life. I'm just thinking, oh my God, we are in Shadowrun. Shout out to people who are familiar with Shadowrun. I'm a big fan of Shadowrun. Another thing in the past that I enjoyed. Raymond says this stream doesn't pass the Bechdel test. Do better. Oh, I am. That's why I'm talking about. That's why I got Susan Wojicieski right here. She's my shield right now. I'm gonna say wonderful things about Susan Wojicieski, my favorite person on the planet. Okay. She is now leaving. She's now leaving YouTube. She's not leaving. She's leaving. We talked about this a little while back. She's leaving YouTube. She's stepping down and becoming the new. She's taking a consultant role. So I'm not gonna say she's quitting, because that would be in denial. But she's removing herself strategically from the head position of YouTube, so someone else can take the hits. That's basically what that means. Because apparently, again, we kind of covered this a little while back, but here's the thing about this, and that I didn't say last time. This is in part due to, this is a natural part of what happens when, you know, big things were happening. They already had this in the works. They already knew they wanted to get her out of the picture quite a while ago, and they wanted to put somebody else in charge a while ago, because after this whole, again, what happened when the Katana hit? Everybody working from home, a lot of people weren't able to go outside, older people reflecting on life. Even I reflected on life, and I said, what's important to me? People were losing their families. You know, this is somebody who probably is trying to actually hang out with her family before, you know, her parents or whatever, before they go. That's what that sounds like to me. I know a lot of people doing that. My job, people leaving every day. I was like, yo, so what happened to Johansson? Oh, he gone too? Oh, the boomers are leaving. The boomers are leaving. They're flying away. They're leaving. You know, they're escaping because they know 3 things. 1, they're gonna go. They wanna have fun in the sunset. You know, have fun in the sunset, whatever that means. You know, with the retirement. 2, their time on this earth is limited, right? So they don't want to die at the job. That's basically what it is. They don't want to pass away at 4 p.m. after, like, an hour after work, right? That's not what they want. And then the next thing also on top of that is the fact that the amount of the retirement is going. This is like the financial. Welcome to the finance side of the show, by the way. They're seeking their freedom, right? But their finances are going down as the dollar is going down for various reasons. As predicted, we talked about that a year ago. I said that 2 years ago, really, when I said, oh yeah, this is going to cause the economy to tank. Because you can't shut down certain businesses for too long. Otherwise, that's going to cause a cascade effect of shutdowns. And people are going to figure out, you know, they're going to innovate from home. They're going to innovate how to do the job remotely. Like, look at the food places right now. All the food places have automated services now because of Katana. You know, Katana slashed down the prices of employees that needed to be at the job, which results in, you know, more automated services, which results in more people not having jobs and people looking for jobs and more people trying to figure out how to do a job from home. And that becomes a job that is in demand versus a job that you come in and do a job. It's a cycle like this. It gets exponentially worse and worse. And so with the retirement money going down, because the price is going down, because the dollar's going down, they're gonna leave earlier. Why wouldn't they? Why would you stay at the job longer? It makes no sense. Why would you stay at the job longer? So if she's gonna take the consultant role, I'm sure she's gonna dig into her finances, her actual retirement while working as a consultant and making like way more money. It just makes more sense to do that as opposed to be the leader on the main list. Because most consultants make way more money than more and less time at the job too. So it's like a cycle. Anyways, there's that. So I think this will change YouTube. I want to get to that part. That's the most important part. I think this will change YouTube for the better on the short term, but I think it's going to get worse on the long term if you think about the big picture, right? The big picture as in, you know, is censorship going to get worse? Is people, again, I'm all about the freedom, right? I look at the freedom. Are people going to have more algorithmic problems? Because a lot of YouTubers you know, what happened with the OGL mess? A lot of YouTubers who were talking about the OGL thing got censored because they just couldn't, you know. I remember one week I just stopped using the hashtags. I said, let me see if I get more views if I don't use the hashtags talking about WOTC versus if I use the hash. I did a little A/B test, and that paid off because I was getting way more views just not even saying the word WOTC in the description versus when I had the thumbnail and then the thing, and then after I realized it was over. Maybe it lasted about a week, maybe 6 days. by the end of the week, I had put it back up on there, and I was like, ah, okay, it went back to normal. All right, so put everything back up. Because it was weird putting up a video and then you got 0 views for 2 hours. I'm like, I don't know about that. That looks like some Shadow Games nonsense. That you're playing Shadow Games with me. Come on, what are we doing here? So yeah, that was unfortunate. Let me go ahead and put this down here. Speaking of WOTC and Hasbro, this is my favorite story of all time. This gave me a big smile on my face. So no one talked about Chris Cox. Okay, can we talk about Chris Cox for a minute? And yeah, I know his name literally. By the way, I don't think that's exactly his last name, how it's supposed to be spelled. Is that not a typo? Isn't that COX? I have to look that up now. I'm pretty sure it's actually Chris COX, not what we just saw. I really want to check Chris Cox. That has to be. No, that's the Facebook guy. Am I wrong? Am I missing something here? Is it really Chris Cox? Is his last name really Cox with the CK? That's crazy. No way. Nobody does that. Are people? Oh my god. Is that serious? Oh my god. It's. Oh my god. Oh, happy day. That makes me so happy. That's amazing. That guy's evil. He is evil. I'm not gonna say, I normally don't use that word, but he's very manipulative. Look at how it's highlighted. I am so sorry, YouTube. That is this is the guy who escaped. I call him the Houdini. Okay? He is Houdini. While this was happening, while the whole with a name like that, I'd be evil too. Raymond said, with a name like that, I'd be evil too. To quote a famous philosopher of cardboard, giggity. Oh man. Pac says, I'm not sad to see her go, but I'm concerned to see who replaces her. Yeah. Who's replacing Susan is definitely gonna be awkward. I saw that and I was like, I'm gonna hold judgment, he said with regret. Hopefully he's wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully he won't. He's given me the vibes of certain people in the past who have replaced other people. I won't mention any names. Story Mark, I don't know how I missed that. You said, was just thinking of Shadowrun when I said that comment about Shadowrun. Yeah, it's perfect. The great minds think alike. Story Mark also says that's up there with Dick Army as a seriously named. Yeah, it really is like the Dick Army kind of. Lord have mercy. This guy's bad because I was listening to him on the call way back, like a couple months ago during the and it's on YouTube somewhere. You can watch it or listen to it. It's the Wizards of the Coast, Magic the Gathering / D&D, / Hasbro fireside chat. When they were addressing the Magic 30 thing, I mean, people were trying to figure out if, hey, do you regret releasing this pack of cards for $1,000? I mean, that's kind of tone deaf. I mean, you calling this a 30th anniversary? What the heck is going on? Every other anniversary was good. I mean, or at least decent. You didn't do this before. And no, they doubled down. They were like, this is good. This is a good idea. And then also, we need to monetize D&D. And I knew immediately. I said, oh, it's over. D&D is over. D&D is going to have a different future. That was when we forked the timeline for D&D right then and there. I was like, it's not looking too good, is it? And I was very happy to, again, like I've been through this again with Jedi, with The Last Jedi, and Marvel and DC. I mean, I grew out of it. Hashtag it's over. Hashtag it's over. Yeah, I kind of just allowed myself to kind of fade away, if you will, into a happier place. That sounded so final. That was really dark. I don't know why I said it like that, but you know what I mean. I have, this is ephemeral to me. I am now okay with disconnecting myself from mega corporations. I think that's a good lesson. I think everyone needs to be able to do that. It's just allow themselves to disconnect. themselves from the mega corporations. So this Hasbro CEO. So this guy got a promotion. Sometimes you just have to laugh. This is how you know mega corporations don't care about you. These mega corps don't care. The mega corpos don't care. We're in full on Shadowrun verse. Okay, it really is. But without Daddy Hasbro, how will I play the Dragon game? Without this sounds like why does that sound like a light novel title? But without Daddy Hasbro, how will I play the Dragon game? Oh my god, that is so funny. Someone's gonna clip that. That's its own clip. Oh man. Yeah, when this whole thing happened with WOTC and Chris Cox got promoted from freaking Wizards of the Coast president to freaking Hasbro CEO president, I was just beyond the beyond. I was beyond the beyond, like, shocked. Like, are you serious? I shouldn't be shocked. I shouldn't be. I should know better by now. But yet I was looking at it like, how could you do this? Like, you promoted this guy? What? Am I stupid? Don't answer that. Of course it is. Of course I am. Oh my lord. This is again another lesson to learn. Like, these corpos don't care. They are about doing the most egregious thing to make the most income, while still trying to see if they can garner some of the majority. It's like how they do the voting. They treat it like how they do the voting in the booth with their investors. When they do their shareholder votes, this is exactly how they're acting. They're doing that. Okay, if we can get 51% of the people to think we're good, 49% can hate us. It's fine. No big deal. Whatever. Yeah, I'm sure it'll work out. It'll pan out. It'll pan out. It's just laughable. So Chris Cox finally, the whole time, by the way, man was silent the whole time. He was a ghost. He let people like Kyle Brink take the heat. He let people like what was that woman's name? I forgot her name. I'm so sorry. I'm terrible with names. The only reason why I remember Kyle Brink is because I did a video on him. Okay, when he said what he said. By the way, I don't care what race you are. Okay, come on down to my channel. I love everybody. Okay, I love you. All right, in a very platonic way, not in that other way. Okay, don't get any ideas. I'm sorry. I'm sure you're a lovely person though. My point is, when Kyle Brink said what he said about, not enough more guys couldn't leave, get Whitey out, basically. Yeah, exactly. When he said that, I was like, really? What's wrong with you? What? Come on, it doesn't. You can't even speak on that. It's just so stupid. It's like, you don't. On one hand, you're trying to appease the interviewer, but you're insulting the interviewer at the same time by saying that. You could see the guy's face, like, what? Like, the interviewer was looking at him like, but he wanted to say something, but he's like, you know what? I'm gonna just let him finish and see where it goes. Let's see where this goes. He didn't give him enough rope, in my opinion. Just let him go. I would have just let him talk and talk and talk until finally you just had enough. You're like, all right, thank you for the interview. Have a great day. God bless. And then you do another follow-up video. Shout out to Bob the World Builder. That was amazing. I should have done a video on that. Oh man. Maybe I will. I don't know. I have to think about it. Cause he pretty much said everything I was thinking in that follow-up video, that commentary. That was probably the most sneakiest thing I've ever seen someone do. Do the interview and then do a commentary on the commentary. And it's not like and it was useful. It wasn't worthless. It actually gave you more information, like what he was thinking, what he wanted to, like, it's a play-by-play, like a very weird, it's his own genre. He did something that, MLD wish he did. Now I'm just pooping on MLD. That's terrible. Sorry, MLD. it's just he did it better. You know what I mean? Bob knew how to do it. He wasn't doing a play-by-play of him on Fresh and Fit. He was doing a play-by-play of an interview that was pretty controversial, of a very controversial person. And it would save his channel, to be honest. It didn't cause a rift in the comment section. People were with it. They understood the context of what was going on. That's how you do a controversial interview, in my opinion. I could interview, well, almost anyone. I think I could interview anyone. You would have to just allow me to do a follow-up video. I'm going to let them cook, give them all the rope they need, and then I'm going to do a follow-up. Now, I may ask questions, but I'm not going to interrupt the interview. I want him to just go and go. Let's see where this goes. Let's see where this rabbit hole goes. And then guess what? At the end of the thing, when it's all said and done, you just put a little disclaimer in the front. You put a disclaimer in the back. You say, hey, this guy, whatever he says, we not with it. We not with it. And even if you are with it, you're not with it until you review it again and read it and watch it and understand what the guy was talking about, or if he's off his rocker, and then you do a follow-up. That's how you do it. I think that's how all content should be when it comes to like long form. I mean, the sweet spot, like how to actually tell something long form and actually be nuanced and have the time to really go through it and break everything down if you want to, as long as you want. Take out as much time as you want. The white man talking on behalf of the Dragon Game. The Dragon Game is the funniest I'm calling it the Dragon Game now. That's amazing. Thanks, Raymond. I'm stealing it from the white guy. God dang it. The best thing is, after he said it, if you just stayed quiet, he would have gone again. And likely doubled down. Yes. If he had just stayed quiet, that's the best part. That's the best part. You just let him talk. You know what I mean? If I was Lex Freeman, I'd be just letting people talk all day. I don't care. I would never push back. Nope, not pushing back. Let's see where it goes. Let's see where this rabbit hole takes us. And I would just call the show Wonderland. That's a great name. I'm gonna write that down. I wonder if it's taken. I'm gonna be interviewing. Actually, that's new content right there. Someone could do that. Raymond says my reparations have now been paid. I gave you in the Dragon Game. The dragon. Why does that rhyme? Why does that sound like it rhymes? Reparations have now been paid. We could probably make that rhyme. A little workshop there. Where was I gonna go with that? There was a point to that. And I can't remember now. Sorry, too many tangents. Man, I can't remember. I'm sorry. Next episode, we'll talk more about it. But going back to my main point of being passionate about everything, my main point that I wanted to say was that I'm going to go back into the past. I'm going to be focusing more on the past. So two things are going to change on the show. I'm not going to change the tagline. It's still about family, freedom, and fantasy. It is about that. But I'm going to kind of focus it more on the past stuff that came out that I enjoyed, maybe comic books, back issues, movies that I enjoyed that I had great, it's retro kind of thing. But I don't like to say retro because even though it is retro kind of pushes you into the algorithm with video games and stuff like that. And I'm not against video games. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against video games, but that area is so, saturated. It's so oversaturated. You get lost in the shuffle. I don't know. So I have to think about how that works. More like Galaxy. What was that show? The channel. This is a good channel. I would recommend checking it out. It's called Toy Galaxy, or maybe they changed their name to Secret Galaxy. Let me see. I'll go find it real quick. Give me 1 second here. I'm gonna go find it real quick. Let me put this up real quick. Yeah, I think they're called Toy Galaxy or Secret Galaxy now. They said they renamed their channel. Secret Toy Galaxy. That'll save me some time. YouTube. I think it's they renamed it to Secret Galaxy. That's what they're called now. But they used to be called Toy Galaxy, and I like that channel a lot. Let me go ahead and open this up for you. Boom, right here. This is a great channel. Now I know they're like just did this other stuff here, but they do other like all sorts of stuff. They don't just do like the cartoons and stuff. They do TV shows, you name it. I mean, you literally name it. They have talked about pretty much everything. The guy who runs it, he's really good at long form content. As far as like those video essays, they're just straight up boom 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 in and out. I like it. And I might do something like that, but not so much edited like he does it. He's very good at it. I'm very much a kind of I'm a little rambly, but I get to a point at some point, and it helps with the nuance, trying to establish what I'm talking about here. So there's that. Reparations paid. The debt is clear. The dragon game to Yin now, and there you go. Thanks so much, Story Mark. Oh my God, that's amazing. I love it. Oh man, I swear to God, it sounds like a limerick, like Rumpelstiltskin or Leprechaun, any of those kind of creatures that tell limericks. Yeah, Story Mark. Hey, check out Story Mark's channel, by the way. I love his channel. Like, even though I may not comment on everything, but that's only because there's like no time in my day at this point. Like, I am literally trying to run my family household. I'm like running my family, the business, my job, everything. It's crazy. How am I supposed to have kids and do this? Oh man, I'm the oldest, and this is all happening all at once. It's so funny how that works. Oh man, thanks so much, Mark. Appreciate it. Oh man, I love your stuff, man. There's more channels. I'm trying to like now I'm doing like a thing like it's almost like Pokemon. I'm just trying to collect as many channels as possible that I can just long form consume that have different perspectives that are like something I haven't heard before, right? Tim Kask is a great channel for that. Like if you're looking at D&D back in the day stuff. Raymond said simple, make the kids work, boom, fix your problem. I think I'm gonna do that. See, now I have to say allegedly, because someone might come back in the past and just in the future they might come back here and be like, Yin is making his kids work, that's illegal. I would never do that, okay? I do not believe in child labor, okay? For legal reasons, that was all a joke, all right? None of that is real. It's all fantasy, okay? Welcome to the show. Oh, man. Oh, my lawyer is going to be so mad at me. Anyways, moving on. But yeah, I hope you don't mind if I talk about stuff in the past I enjoyed. And I think a part of it about the past that's beautiful is also misremembering stuff. I think that's part of the journey. The Mandela effect. I like that. Because what happens is I'll say something. I'll be like, it was like this. I'll get the book and be like, guys, it was actually like this. And I think sometimes what happens is something more creative happens where you remember something that doesn't even exist. And now you have a new product. You like that? I think that might be the future. I want to talk about stuff like even Gundam, like G Gundam. That was a show. I didn't even finish that video. I didn't even finish it. G Gundam's something I enjoyed growing up. Even though I probably would, I probably wouldn't, give it to a little kid. I probably would wait until somebody's like 10 years old to give it to them. If I'm not mistaken, there's like a lot of death and murder in that show. If I'm not mistaken, I could be misremembering that. Or maybe that was Gundam Wing. I can't remember which one had the murder. Which one? G Gundam stands for Good Gundam. That's based. G Gundam was a softer one. Yeah, okay, so it was Gundam Wing that had the murders and the terrorism. I probably shouldn't have said terrorism, especially so emphasized, and now I said it twice, so there we go. YouTube will not like this. Top G Gundam. Oh my god, dude. Oh man, Top G Gundam, that's hilarious. Oh man, Story Mark says, I think delving into stuff you loved in the past could be a fun idea, especially if you revisit it and see what the new takeaways you get from it. Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna go back and try it out and see how I like it. I sometimes revisit older stuff I love just to find something new I loved about it. Yes, I agree. I think it's gonna be fun. Also, like there's an episode of so for example, I watched one episode, the Nightcrawler episode of X-Men. I always loved the Nightcrawler and the Wolverine relationship, the friendship in the comics, in the old comics, in the 80s and the 90s comics. Shout out to Chris Claremont. That was beautiful. Well told story. And so I revisited that in the animated series. I went and watched that video. Watch that show. Look at me, YouTube programs us. I watched that show. I think it might have been on Disney Plus. I'm not advertising Disney Plus, by the way. But this is back when I had like every stream service or whatever, because I was addicted. Okay, I learned how to not be addicted. That takes a while, by the way. That's not as easy as people say it is. You just cut it off. I'm like, you can kind of cut one off at a time. I don't think you can cut the whole thing all at once. That sounded so wrong when I said that. You see, this is the problem with me, guys. I'll say something, realize what I had said, then it's out there. You gotta own it. So going back to my main point, I watched that show, especially that episode, and one of the things I took away from that episode was, wow, that was such an uplifting episode. Like, Wolverine started out as an atheist in the beginning of that episode, so angry. You could see the anger, the pain, the abandonment, the dispiritedness. You could see a man who was broken, by the Weapon X program, by his tormentors, by the loss he experienced, the people who he loved who were gone, his memories that he was the things that he was remembering. Like, remembering was actually more painful than forgetting. Like, it was weird. Like, you would remember something and now you're remembering, oh my God, look at all the people who died with my life, and that does something to a man, right? Where you remember the people who meant something to you, and they're no longer with you, and you lived on and they didn't. Especially if they were your children, especially if they were, your loved one, your wife or your girlfriend or whatever. And it's painful, that's pain. It causes long-term pain. And so, we take this with us. It becomes a part of us, right? And when he witnessed somebody who had hope, even though he was being discriminated against because of the way he looked, and he was, a man of faith, Nightcrawler, who was a man of faith, it made Logan mad. And that actually gave me more perspective of people who get mad at other people who are uplifting, right? I get that a lot. I do get a lot of guff for being positive, I had some friends in real life who were doom-pilled, right? Some people in real life who were doom-pilled who didn't like me for this content that I'm putting out, where I'm saying, hey, don't get doom-pilled, I didn't think that would be I didn't think that would be controversial, but here we are, so that was like another thing, I was like, oh, okay. And to just watch him at the end kind of try to like open his heart again, to like actually, confront his own pain and try something new, right? Be a man of faith, trying to pray, trying to figure a way to, a healthy way to, what's the word I'm looking for? Reconcile his emotions, his pain. That was uplifting to me. It was very emotional. It was very positive. I think that's a very positive image you can give to kids, right? That's like a thing you can do and show to people. Hey, this is a way you could live. It's not the only way you could live, but you can try it. See if it works for you. If you're in a position that Logan is in, maybe try it. And that was something like back in the day, how they made shows with a positive image. And I feel like you could do that today. I feel like in a sea of negativity, you will be an island of positivity. And I honestly do not see, in my opinion, positivity being oversaturated, unless it's like fake, right? When people give you a fake compliment or something like that, I can see that. But something that's genuine, I don't think that'll ever be oversaturated, because there's not enough of it. It's just not. And I think that's because negativity will always, and I'm not gonna say always, but it just seems to resonate more positively to people. Like, they like to consume that more, or rather it's more eye-catching. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't want to say I don't understand it, or I'm afraid to understand it. I think that's more honest. I'm afraid to understand it because, I feel like that opens up Pandora's box. Like it's the event horizon. Once you see it and you get close enough to it, it sucks you into. And I don't want to be a part of that pool. Let me see. Story Mark says G Gundam is the one with an American mecha with boxing gloves, a gun, and a football helmet. Yeah, that's the one. I love it. Yes, G Gundam was so good, but it was definitely like a product of its time. I loved it though. I think it was a toy line at some point, if I'm not mistaken. I remember seeing the toys at like Toys R Us, for G Gundam, but I never had those things were expensive, like 35.99 or something like that for just the horse or something. Was it the horse? I think it was the horse. Just for the horse. I was like, what? Who's buying just the horse though? $60 for the entire, like, the one guy. Like, jeez. I guess you could have the horseless Gundam, I guess. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Ronin Warriors all over again. And again, I liked Ronin Warriors, but man, those figures were expensive. Boy, I spent so much money. And I was a kid too. That was my 6 months of my whatchamacallit, my cleanup money, my chores money, my allowance, plus all the money I earned doing chores and stuff. Let me see. Raymond says the world sucks. How dare you try to make the world a better and more uplifting place, bro? If I had $1 for every time like that happened to me, I just wouldn't even ask for donations anymore. The show wouldn't even have donations in the thing. Yeah, it would be. It's that common. It's so ridiculous. I'm used to it now. I'm like, okay, someone didn't like this uplifting one. I guess I should look at what was wrong with it and watch it again. Oh, didn't like that part, did you? Oh, okay. Story Mark says, what want your opinion on something? As I've thought about this, has a lot to do with Wolverine. Is better as the main character, or when he's part of an ensemble. I've been leaning to the latter lately. Yeah, he's not. I don't think he's good personally as the only sole character. I always thought he was better as a part of a team. Sorry, I just have to turn off the alarm. I had someone's calling me or something. So yeah, I've never seen him as a solo character, even though I did enjoy his solo books. Like, his Volume 1 solo series was okay. I enjoyed it. I think it peaked when he went to space. That sounds really wrong for Wolverine, but when he went to space and faced Galactus, I think that was when Wolverine peaked as far as like solo series. I mean, where do you go after, and he lost, by the way. He didn't win. He didn't beat Galactus. He was destroyed, completely decimated. He was supposed to be in a mission where he saved people in a prison planet, and he lost. And I just found that very endearing. It actually formulated it was like a moment in my mind as a kid. It was very influential to me. I was like, oh yeah, you could totally tell a story where the hero loses and it's a good story. It wasn't a good story like uplifting, obviously. It was he lost, but he's not impossible. He's not like this impossible man. He's not like this action hero who can do no wrong. He's gonna lose a lot of these fights. We humans have a bit of negativity bias from what I found studying psychology. That said, I feel we can go beyond it. Yeah, I believe that too. I think we have like a I don't know, like a penchant for negativity. My coping mechanism is laughter. Like, I see some negative stuff and I don't know, I have to laugh. It's like my coping mechanism. And you could tell it's bad when I'm like, let me get some popcorn. This is so bad I no longer can engage this as and take it seriously. Now it's entertainment, pure and simple. So I'll go grab some popcorn, I'll eat and laugh about it, right? That kind of thing. And so that's the unfortunate reality. But yeah, we definitely can grow out of it, because I don't emotionally attach myself to that negativity. Like, when I see it, I'm just like, oh man, that sucks. And then I move forward, right? I think to myself, how can I make it work for me, right? In that way. Raymond says, I agree. And avoid a negative event will leave more of an impression than a positive impression of the same strength individually perceived. However, we focus more on the positive. Yes, I agree. And the positive will eventually override the negative. Yes, I agree. Making these observations through study and anecdote. Yeah, I 100% agree. I think that's why diversity in comics changed to whatchamacallit, Zack, Ya Boy Zack. What was it called? Comics by Ya Boy Zack. Even though he kind of is leaning back into some of the content he talked about before, but he wanted to walk away from the negativity that he kind of was garnering from the show. I understand why he did it. I get it. I just think that there's a way he could have continued, like, making his points that he made while, still keeping the branding, like the branding he wanted to have. Because I remember he put up, what was the thing he put? I roasted him so bad, he changed his name to Comics by whatever, Ya Boy Zack. But he changed it. He was learning comics or something. It would turn into a professor thing, and I'm like, you cannot be a professor, dude. Your channel was like, it's like if you decided to do, it's like if Family Guy decided to be like PBS Kids. I mean, you can't do that. You can't do that. It's you're gone too far into the comedy. Like, you are pure adult comedy now. You cannot go for the kids. It's just not gonna work. He tried to do that. I was just like, I don't mean to be rude. Start a new channel. That's fine, but not the current channel. I just thought that was the funniest thing ever. But yeah, you can definitely go into a more positive way and just avoid negativity. If you find yourself to be that kind of channel or that kind of whatever, because people have that bias. We all have that bias where we enjoy, certain aspects of the negativity. If it's the drama, you get what is that thing? What did Rolo say a long time ago? He called it something, and I can't remember what it was called. I can't remember. He said this years ago, and now I can't remember what it is. It's a negative dopamine hit, but I can't remember what it's called. It's indignation. You get the indignation, like righteous indignation. Like, for example, my little sister, she loves Love Is Blind. Okay, I watched the full disclosure, I watched the Love Is Blind show. Okay, with my sisters. They enjoy that, and we talk. Right, I like to be in their company and have conversations and stuff with them, and I gotta say, it is the most negative oh my God, there's just so much negativity on that show. Terrible people. And there's nobody good. Just everybody's trash. And so while I'm watching this, I understand the psychological, the dopamine hit you get from the righteous indignation. Like I may be like this, but I'm not like those people. You know what I mean? And so, that kind of negativity draws people in, right? It really draws people in, and it is an early need for survival and stuff. I agree with you on that for sure. It's like back in the day, right? I'm a better person, so therefore I would survive, right? That kind of thing. It's like a justification kind of thing. It's like a self-selection. Like, I'm better than them, so therefore, if I don't know, if the world goes to kaput back in the if the world goes to kaput tomorrow, like in the day after tomorrow, or 2012, or in that movie Knowing, I would be the one to survive, even though nobody survived Knowing except the kids. But you get what I'm saying. Man, I am going. There's so many tangents. My brain is like on all these tangents, and there's no end in sight. I could go on forever. Let me see. Regardless, I think people just need to learn how to be more positive. Yeah, it's definitely a learned skill, and I think it also comes from exposing yourself. You see what happens, guys. I think it comes from exposing yourself to other, people who are positive as well, right? Like Bob World Builder is very positive. There's so many channels at this point. Brandon Sanderson's pretty positive. I try to gravitate myself towards more positive content now. I think the only thing that's negative on my feed now is Clownfish. And I know if I unsubscribe from it, YouTube will torture me with them. So I just leave it in there. And, I just leave it in there. And once in a while, it's nice to see the thumbnail just to know, like, what's happening. You really don't have to Google anything when you have their channel. Something is happening. You just scroll down. What's going on? You get 5 headlines in one day. I'm like, oh, and no ads. You don't get any of those awful ads those websites give you, those news sites. I hate those news sites. Comicbook.com, Screen Rant. Everybody has garbage ads now. What is going on? And no, I'm not trying to turn into Luke Smith with that comment. But you know, it's just one of those things where I can't unsee it. I can't unsee it. You know, once you see like a billion ads on websites, it hurts, man. It hurts. Like, you can't move your phone. You can't like hit the X button. It's like, wow, no wonder nobody goes on websites anymore. Like, no wonder these apps are winning, because who wants to deal with these millions of ads? It's just garbage. And then your phone is slow now. Great. Let me see. More of the negativity. I think I got that part. Yeah, I did. Let me see. Story Mark says, oh yeah, and big time on the void thing. I actually takes 3 positive things to cancel out 1 negative thing mentally. Really? I didn't know. I'm writing that down. It takes 3. It takes 3. I'm gonna write that down. It takes 3. I'm gonna remember that. It takes 3 positives to beat a negative. 1 negative. All right, perfect. I'll remember that. I gotta keep that in mind. That's great. Agreed big time. Agreed big time on exposure. It's actually why I got rid of many things I just considered just negative noise. Yeah. I listen. I have a I put every negative channel I unsubscribed on a notepad, okay, and on a text file. And the reason why I did that is to see my progress. There's like 100 channels or something like that. I am so glad I cleaned that up. That really wakes me up to like how far into the rabbit hole I went. And it wasn't on purpose. It was like gradually, you know, over the course of however many years I had my YouTube account. And it's really sad, because it's like now I can kind of see through every single drama thing. It's like, wow. It's like you're really disillusioned by all of, you know, media, right? Like, it doesn't matter what wing, it's all the same. It's all a uniparty. It's all part of the drama sphere. It's just, I'm not trying to give you some negative feedback about that, but it's something I couldn't unsee. I'm like, wow, it's just a business. It's just getting clicks. That's all it's all about. And I just have an aversion to it. That's why I haven't been talking so much about drama stuff. And I want to kind of go back and talk about stuff that I enjoy. And yeah, Pac is right. Drama does get clicks. So I'm going to be nuanced about it and try to focus in on the things that are more important than the not important. Raymond said, you cannot go for the kids. Yeah. Oh, man. That quote will definitely come back to me, I'm sure. Well, I think that's it for tonight. I think I've said everything I needed to say, and there will be a quick schedule change, I think, in the future. I think I'm going to try and do like cut down to like less videos a week. Maybe we'll do 3 starting next week. We'll do that maybe like Monday, Wednesday, Thursday or something. I think that's a good way. Or Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I think that's a good way to go about it. And then we'll go from there. It'll be same style where I talk to you guys, but I'll probably be on the desktop this time. I'll probably do one Monday video for like the Yin Confidential. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. I could still do it. It's gonna be cold tomorrow if I do that. That's gonna be. I mean, we'll see. Maybe it'll be pretty. If it's pretty, I'll do it. If it's not pretty, if the forest is kind of effed up, I'll probably won't do it. We'll see how the forest looks. Sometimes after it snows, something happens in there. I'll go from there. Let me see. In the chat, agreed big time. Yep, I got that. Story Mark says, I think I got that right. Oh yeah, I agree on the various drama stuff and wings, and it's absolutely love when people more discuss what they love than just attack what they hate. Yeah, dude, it's kind of like, what if I love hating on things? Go ahead, Twitter. Oh man, yeah. I think what it is, it's this. I think what it is this. The people who are so far down the rabbit hole, right, in consuming it, I think it's either become a business, right? It's either a business or a source of dopamine. It's one of the two. It's not like they do it and they don't realize what they're doing. They realize what they're doing. They're like, it's kind of like when I made a mistake about a meme, making jokes about a meme, and then it kind of spun out of control, and now it's like a meme that, you know, people are continuing to this day, and I'm like, oh man, I think I messed up, you know. I mean, there's lots of memes like that. There's lots of memes where you're like laughing about it and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, maybe not send this one. You know, sometimes you send a meme and you're like, probably shouldn't have sent that one, because now they're sending me back a billion of the same meme. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, it doesn't even matter what the meme is. It's any meme. You pick the meme. You know, yeah. Someone in the chat said it. Great. Thanks. I hate it. Never happen. Yeah, beams spinning out of control. Never happens. Yeah, never happens. I love that Ferenz knew exactly what the meme was. How did he even know? He's not even in the chat that it's happening. Oh my god. Oh Lord. Yep, we've hit the end. Thanks so much for watching, guys. God bless you. I hope you have a great week. I'll see you next time, and take care. Until next time.